For me, it's about the law and people. How am I supposed to quantify the value of these things when I don't have evidence?
I'm sorry.
And how people can resolve their problems and just be better for it.
Justice with passion.
I always knew I was going to go into law because I tried to see everybody's point of view in an argument. You say one thing, she says another. So who am I to believe?
Justice with truth.
Either you make the decision or I make the decision. You won't like mine.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Rachel Kim is suing Jason Holt in the amount of $2,200. Ms. Kim claims she canceled 2 lucrative catering jobs to spend Thanksgiving with her boyfriend and says he left her outside in the car when they got to his parents' house.
Ms. Kim, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Holt, for $2,200, $2,200, because you state that because of him you lost employment opportunities, catering opportunities around Thanksgiving. All right, so give me the facts. Tell me what happened.
I'm suing Jason Holt for $2,200 because of loss of catering jobs and also an Uber ride back in which he just left me stranded there. So Jason and I, we dated about a year ago, and initially he was just this very warm and funny guy. He used to tell me jokes, and he was just really sweet with me, and he would call me every day, he would text me every day. And a couple of months into our relationship, Jason just started becoming distant. And I just wanted to have an open, open communication, a healthy relationship. And so one day he told me that, hey, let's go for Thanksgiving. And I think you should meet my family. And I thought like, wow, this is so sweet of you. But I've already booked 2 jobs. I've already got 2 jobs confirmed. And they're $1,000 each for my catering job. So I told him, I don't know if I should because money is a little bit tight. And he was like, no, Rachel, this is about, you've always talked about, the future, and this is us building a future together. And I thought, this would be good. Okay. This would be something positive.
So you said, yes, I'll go to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And then what happened?
I canceled my 2 jobs, my 2 confirmed jobs.
Okay.
I referred my other caterer friend, and so I lost $2,000.
So what happened at Thanksgiving? Why didn't you go?
Prior to Thanksgiving, he was also becoming his usual self. He was distant and everything, but I thought, hey, it's okay, it's cool. And he told me that his mom liked Korean dishes. And so I went shopping for the Korean dishes.
So you didn't have that intuition that something was wrong?
I did, and I confronted him about it. I consulted him about it. And he was like, there we go again, Rachel, me with my whole drama, with my whole overthinking thing.
And what happened?
I drove to his place. I unloaded everything from my car to his car. He didn't even help at all. And we drove from his place to his parents' place in Riverside. And throughout the entire ride, it was silent, awkward silent, tension.
Okay.
And when I reached his parents' place, he told me to wait in the car. And I did. I thought it was odd. I waited in the car. And he went in. 20 minutes later, he texted me saying that I don't think you should meet my parents.
So you just left her in the car?
It's more than that, Your Honor.
Just factually, is that what happened?
Technically, yes.
Who the heck does that? Why drive all the way to Riverside if you don't want to go into your parents' house?
Well...
Or at least tell me beforehand.
I got the picture, Ms. Kim. I got the picture. Mr. Holt, your version of the story, quickly.
We simply had a misunderstanding. I have let her know in the very beginning of our relationship that I don't do well with confrontation. So I tend to get a little bit distant at times.
You're a grown man. Confrontation is part of life. Please.
With my job, it is very hard dealing with a lot of social issues, a lot of social
what do you do
argumentations. I am a sales representative at a local auto body shop.
So you don't like customers bickering at you, but this is a relationship.
And I understand.
You're supposed to bicker. You're supposed to argue. You're supposed to have...
And we did our bickering and arguing.
Okay. So you invited her to go to your parents' house for Thanksgiving. She told you, I have 2 jobs lined up. Both are going to be about $2,000. Are you sure you want me to go to Thanksgiving? And you said...
I never told her to cancel those jobs.
What did you say? What did you say, Mr. Holt?
I said, if you can make it to Thanksgiving dinner, that would be great. I know you are very busy. I do not want you to cancel any jobs. But if you can make it that day, great.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right. And then what happened on the drive on the way to your parents' house?
Well, we had an argument. We had an argument over text. It was that I wasn't talking with her. Over the past few weeks, I was getting really overwhelmed with work, but also some family issues with my mom and her parents.
Okay.
I didn't even let my mom know until she bought the gifts and started making all this food for the
you
Thanksgiving
make
dinner.
absolutely no sense. You tell her it would be great if you join me for Thanksgiving, but you don't even tell your mom. You're just going to have her show
I
up for
was
Thanksgiving.
going to tell my mom.
But you never did.
But I never did because she started getting gifts and food and
Who
making
cares?
food.
That's what you do when you go to somebody's house you've never
I've
been
always
to.
let her know that we at the Holt household make the Thanksgiving dinner. We make the turkey, make
That's
the gravy, make the
fine,
stuffing.
but it's just a nice gesture to get a bottle of wine, some flowers, whatever.
And I understand, and I really appreciated
Okay.
the sentimentality. It's just my mom is very stubborn on this.
Coming up on Justice for All.
You walk into your parents' house, you text her and say, "Don't come into my parents' house."
I admit that was my fault.
That was like, wow, that's a slap
I admit that
in
was
the
a pretty
face.
crummy thing to do.
And later,
I fell on concrete, I hurt my left wrist, and I had my friend drove me to the emergency.
So, Mr. Dandridge, is that what happened?
No, Your Honor.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Rachel Kim, who is suing Jason Holt for lost income and rideshare costs.
So what happened on the drive when she drove to your house to Riverside?
Because we had that fight a few days ago, I just could not engage with the conversation. I feel like it was getting too volatile. I didn't want that kind of energy going
Volatile?
into the family circuit.
Volatile?
A little bit volatile. It was a bit too finger pointy. It was just a lot of over-exaggeration.
Why didn't you cut the strings before Thanksgiving?
Because I was way too busy with my work, and I was way too busy dealing with issues with my family.
You walk into your parents' house, you text her and say, "Don't come into my parents' house."
I admit that was my fault.
That was like, wow, that's a slap
I admit that
in
was
the
a pretty
face.
crummy thing to do. I admit
That is more than crummy.
Very
let's think
insensitive.
let's think of better adjectives: insensitive, demeaning, cruel. Just not
I
classy.
should have handled the
Thank you, Your
situation.
Honor.
Just not what a gentleman would do.
I should have handled the situation a lot
Thank
better than
you.
that. Absolutely.
Thank you very
However,
much.
that does not mean I owe her that kind of money.
Dear,
We did not have any written agreement, no
Your Honor.
contract or promise or proposal that I would pay her back
Have
for any
you
lost
ever,
finance.
Mr. Holt, had a long relationship, or is this your first relationship?
I've had other relationships before. This one I would say is more on the longer side.
So, Ms. Kim, why did you continue with this roller coaster ride if it wasn't making you happy? Because clearly there were a lot of red flags. I mean, a lot of red flags.
I believe in the bright side of things. I believe in, trying one's best for a relationship to work.
You tried really hard and it didn't work.
I did. Money is tight. I'm a single mom.
I get that. But you need to show me more than a moral obligation, because I feel that's what you're telling me. Because at the end of the day, it was your contract. You decided not to perform them because you wanted to spend time with him and his family, right? So you need to show me something. You can't just sue somebody for making you cancel work. You have to show that there was some tortious interference. Like, for example, like with your employment contracts, you had this contract and he called them and said, "Don't hire Rachel Kim. Oh my God, her food is so bad. People have died from food poisoning."
And she's a fantastic chef.
That means he interfered with your work. That means he interfered with your work. Or if he coerced you in some way, if you don't come to Thanksgiving dinner and not do this, I'm going to do this. None of that is there. The only fact that's there is that you made the decision to turn down your jobs because you were in a relationship. I mean, we understand and we've made it very clear that the way Mr. Holt treated you or acted was less than gentlemanly.
I take accountability for that.
And I hope he apologized to you, because that kind of stuff doesn't happen. I don't care. Even the coldest guy would say, "Okay, let me pay you at least half of the Uber." I mean, you drove her all the way and you leave her in your car. That is just, if she would have done that to you, you would have been suing me for more.
Your Honor, if I could add I did voice out my concern and my hesitation, but in terms of coercion, he did very, very, he persuaded me. Because I was in love, he
Over-exaggeration, Your
persuaded
Honor.
me and
Complete
saying that
over-exaggeration.
this is about building a future together.
I did
This is
not-
about
I said
spending
no
more
such
time
thing
together.
about that.
And I was blindsided because I was in love.
Ms. Kim, all of those things that you said he was acting weird are huge red flags that this is not going to be building a life together, okay? It's not. You get that? A breakup is not a breach of contract. Maybe you really wanted it to work, but clearly he did not want it to work. Getting into a relationship has a lot of risks. You spent almost a year of your life with somebody that you potentially thought had a future. That's how we find the one. We have to go through a lot of relationships, sometimes maybe one, two, sometimes a lot, to find the person that fits for you. And obviously Mr. Holt was not. And maybe this is what the lawsuit's about. You can't sue somebody for, quote, quote, making you cancel in a contract unless, like I said, there was something within the law that we could say, oh my God, yes, there was an interference, there was a tortious interference, he coerced you, he called and spoke bad about you, that's why they canceled your contract, right? You agreeing not to do your catering gigs, the two of them, it was your decision, it was not his decision. You decided to go knowing things weren't right between you, and that's on you, nobody else. So I will make him pay you $100, which is half of the Uber. Okay?
Your Honor, he should pay $200.
All right, he will pay $100 because it was your fault as much as it was his. You saw the signs. You saw the signs, and you ignored them, okay? So based on the evidence, I will award the plaintiff only $100 and deny the rest of the money. Good luck to you both.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $100.
Well, I'm sorry for wasting the court's time on a personal relationship.
I will make sure to appeal this in higher court.
Coming up on Justice for All.
I told her she could borrow my ladder, but instead of her getting my ladder out of the garage, she got my blanket holder.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Marissa Taylor is suing Colin Dandridge in the amount of $2,282. Ms. Taylor claims she borrowed a ladder from her neighbor that broke and says she wound up in the ER with a sprained wrist.
Ms. Taylor, you are here suing your neighbor in the amount of $2,282, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For negligence, right? You hurt yourself and you blame him for your accident,
I
correct?
certainly do.
Okay, explain what happened.
On August 2nd, I went to my neighbor and I asked to borrow a ladder. I was putting up some cafe lights on my patio, and it's pretty high, about 6 feet, so I needed a ladder. I asked my neighbor, and he agreed. He said, go in my garage, I have a ladder in the garage.
Okay.
And when I went in the garage, I saw a ladder directly by the door, grabbed it, and when I went back outside, he wasn't out there. So I went to my patio, and a friend of mine and I were stringing up the lights. I went up like 3 steps, and they broke. I fell on concrete. I hurt my left wrist, and I had my friend drove me to the emergency.
You had a friend there with you?
Yes, she was helping me put up the lights. And she took a picture of the ladder before we left. So I have that, and she drove me to the ER.
What happened at the ER?
They examined me. They said I sprained it. You know, they did an X-ray, and I needed to take some time off work because my occupation, I'm a waitress. I had to be off work, but fortunately, my work, they made some concessions, so they like put me on the register, so I didn't have to carry stuff.
Okay.
But I did lose tips.
So did you tell Mr. Dandridge what had happened?
Yes.
So Mr. Dandridge, is that what happened?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me.
I told her she could borrow my ladder, but instead of her getting my ladder out of the garage, she got my blanket holder.
Coming up,
He is a notorious jokester. He likes to play pranks, and I mean, all kinds of pranks. Like he put honey in my hair gel once.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Marissa Taylor, who is suing Colin Dandridge for negligence.
I'm looking at the evidence that she submitted, and is a broken kind of.
Looks like a ladder,
So
right?
that
It's a blanket holder. From that angle, it might be hard to tell, but Your Honor, there's no way for your feet to fit on a step. That is a prop that just leans against the wall for home decor.
Do you have a picture of what it looks like in your garage wall?
Not in my garage, but in my home.
Okay,
I took
let
a
me
picture
see.
of Romeo, my dog.
Oh, I see.
I didn't know she would mix that up with the ladder, Your Honor.
Mr. Dandridge, when she came back to you and she said the ladder broke, you said to her,
It's my blanket holder.
and what did she reply?
She said it looked like the ladder, and she accused me of purposely putting that there, knowing that I guess I had the premonition that she was going to pick the blanket holder. And so she's accusing me of setting her up to fall just to get a kick.
Can I add some nuance to that, please? Because he is a notorious jokester. He likes to play pranks, and I mean, all kinds of pranks. Like, he put honey in my hair gel once.
Your Honor, in my wildest dreams, I couldn't make up this prank. How would I know that an adult would mix up a blanket holder with a ladder? I'd like to add, Your Honor.
Is that the real ladder you wanted her to use?
Yes, Your Honor. I thought that would.
But the garage was not open, and there's a door leading to the garage. I came
But
in
you
the door.
still came into the garage.
Right. I didn't come all in, like, all the way. It was literally right there. Got it, left.
I'm really speechless.
So
Ms.
was I,
Taylor,
Your Honor.
seriously, you have never used a ladder before? Have you ever seen a ladder before?
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez.
Home decor.
It looked like a ladder.
Ladder. Home decor. Ladder.
Now I know.
No, it's not funny.
It's
It's
not.
not
definitely
funny.
not funny.
It's
It's
really
not-
not, because
funny.
I'm out of money. I'm like,
It's not funny.
Yeah.
But a reasonable person would understand that a home decor ladder's for blankets, not for bravery. Even the logical common sense, honestly, you can't even put your feet on there. If they're tiny little poles, how can you? Or little slats. So based on that, I cannot reasonably conclude that he was negligent in any way when you were completely negligent and careless using something that everybody in the same situation would understand is not a true ladder. So based on that, Ms. Taylor, I will deny your claim in the amount of $2,282. Good luck.
thank you, Jan.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Think justice was served?
I don't, and I still need $2,282.
Thank you. Amazing.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.